Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, people? You guys know the drill. Give it a few minutes, let people flow in, and then we'll get started with BTC. Let me shoot the link around real quick. I believe that's the right link. Yeah, that looks right. There we go. All right. Where's the link? Here we go. Do a little sound check. Do a little sound check. Sounds fine. Kind of echoey, but anyways, yeah, we'll get into BTC here in a few minutes. I think I'm gonna go use the restroom, and then we'll look at low caps, and we'll try to be out of here in like an hour, hour and a half, something like that. I bet. Alrighty. What's good, Matt? What's good, Plaza? The player. Amen to a great weekend. Amen to that, brother. Thank you, Jesus, as always, that I get to be here for these wonderful folks in the best live stream ever. Put my hair up here. Oh. What's good, John? Thanks for tuning in, brother. But we're about to get started here. Just a second. My goodness. All right, let's see what we're working with. Tony. What's good, baby? All right, so I'm sure more people will be coming in throughout, in and out, and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll do a top down on BTC. That's our typical approach, right? We go from monthly to weekly to daily, so on and so forth. Then maybe we'll look at Ethereum. We can look at some of this other stuff if you guys want to. I don't personally have any interest in really any of it right now, but you know, we could look at it if you guys have some stuff you want to look at. Other than that, we'll look at Excuse me. We'll look at my main low cap plays that I'm in on right now, and then hopefully we'll get out of here in a pretty timely manner. All right, let's do it. So look at the monthly for BTC. Things still look really good to me, but I would like to point out that we're technically still in an inside bar, and which one you would say we're in is kind of tricky. I mean, you could argue that we're ranging inside this one here, right? That's kind of where we first topped out, and then we ran the highs a little bit here, we ran the highs a little bit here, we ran the lows again. But in reality, we're kind of just inside this monthly candle, okay? So I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to retest that again at some point before breaking out. Maybe something like this and at the end of the year. So right now, I've actually positioned myself short a little bit, as well as to kind of hedge the numerous open longs I have across the market. I think I'm risking about, I don't know, like 7% net worth. If everything was to drop 50%, maybe like 7% net worth. So with pretty decent risk on, I want a little downside protection if we go back to these range lows. So I went short BTC at around really this exact price, 32.50 yesterday or day before, something like that. Yeah, we could look at Solana. But regardless of near-term price action, I think this looks really healthy. I think we're going to continue bouncing in this range for a little bit before eventually pushing up to mid 40Ks. That's kind of my game plan. And then we've got BTC halving, of course, next April. So I'm expecting big push into mid 40s sometime before then. I don't know if it'll be this year or early next year. And then once the halving occurs, probably a significant dump. This is pretty typical. I think we got, I don't remember what it was. It was around 20% in 2020 post-halving dump. And then it was around 40% post-halving dump in 2016. And I believe it was around 40% dump post-halving 2012. So I would wager anywhere from 20 to 30%, or maybe they're lessening with each wave. Maybe it's only 10 or 15% dump after halving. But it's just kind of a typical thing, right? Everyone's going to hype it up. The halving's here, which is a big fundamental catalyst. You know, the supply rate being cut is massive, but the day after it happens, you know, it's not like we're going to go from 40K BTC to 80K the next day after the halving. More than likely, people will see, oh shoot, we ran up really hard into the halving, and we're not doing anything a day after, or, you know, a week after, whatever. And then naturally, it'll probably just sell off a bit until it finds support. I don't know. I would wager if we get a move up towards 40s, we probably find support somewhere around where we're at now. And then, you know, let's say we do like this, and then the halving, boom, sell off, consolidation, whatever, and then bull market. That's kind of my game plan as far as the monthly goes. Looking at momentum, I think it's still pretty clear to say that we're quite early in this run. I don't even know if I would classify it as a bull run right now, but bull run, bear run, whatever, you know, the big thing for us is we're in an uptrend right now. If it's only on the near term, so be it, but we're in an uptrend. You know, neutral to bullish, I would say, on the monthly. Not full bull, because our stochastic is getting kind of extended. Momentum is rising, but still on the negative side. And technically, you know, we're still kind of messing with this underside of 2021. So once we can clear through that, I think things look a little bit more peachy. But regardless, Still looks really solid. I would have said neutral to bearish a couple months ago, but now I would definitely say neutral to bullish. So monthly looks pretty nice. I do think, I don't know if it'll happen before halving or not, but like I said, halving's in April. I think we'll get a monthly cycle down at some point before then, more than likely. So that'll probably be the big dip to hit. I'm not sure if it'll be into the holiday season or after the holiday season. I really don't know, but I do think that's going to be coming at some point. And maybe it comes after we hit 40Ks, or maybe we just go 30Ks back down to the range low. Maybe that's the cycle down. I don't really know, but you know, we'll take it one day at a time. What's up, Beasto? Thanks for tuning in, homie. That's new then? No, I wouldn't say that's new. It's just like it's a typical sell the event thing, you know? Same like back here we had the what was it? The ETH. There was a big ETH catalyst. The merge, right? The merge. And then it was a big pump all the way into the merge. Then the merge happened and whoa, we just nuked. You know, people realize, well, long term, very good catalyst, right? Very good catalyst that'll lead us into a strong bull market. Near term, maybe a little overhyped. Same thing in 2020, right? I think the halving was start of May, and then boom, big sell-off. A couple more little sell-offs, but nothing serious. And then we pushed. And then back in 2016, right, halving was like in here somewhere, and then we get boom, big sell-off. Consolidation, grind up, and then up only. And then same thing in 2012. Right? Big sell-off, grinding, slow grind up, and then up only. Now the issue, trying to look at previous halvings, is what we've got, you know, a sample size of 3. You know, it's like, well, it happened like this 3 times, it'll happen a 4th time. Maybe, but, you know, it's kind of all we have to go off of, other than just trading the price action we get. So, historically, we get a dump after the halving. Historically, we get a pretty good run up into the halving. So I think that'll happen again. And the run up typically starts, let's look at this. Typically about a month or 2 before the halving. Something like that, 2 to 3 months. A little harder to say in the last market because we had that COVID dump kind of screwing everything over. But yeah, about 2 months. So it's in the start of April. We're looking at probably like a January rally. So I could see a push up prior to then. Maybe a move down. And then a move higher into halving. And then a big dump. Consolidation. Grind. Up only. Something like that. And then the more harsh approach would be hold on. Damn it, I didn't get the mic mute. Sorry about that. I'm sure that was ridiculously loud. The less optimistic approach would be one of 2 things. Either we keep ranging here, right? And, you know, maybe the halving rally is like just a breakout from this range. And then a retest post-dump, and then up only. Or worse than that would be, you know, we're going back to 20K, right? You know, maybe we get a fake out above the range, big rejection, start making lower highs, wick the lows, fail to hold it again, and then maybe we do something like this, and maybe it's a new bottom into halving kind of thing. I don't know. It just seems kind of not that likely that we wouldn't rally into such an important catalyst that only occurs once every 4 years. But, you know, we like to try and look at every potential scenario. Obviously, there's a lot more than just that, but that's the kind of the main scenarios I'm looking at. How long is the sell-off for? Ooh, that's a good other thing to look at. And again, just last time I'll say it, but we only have 3 cycles to go off of, so we got to kind of take it with a grain of salt, but I think it's important to look at. You know, it'd be kind of silly if we have this happen again and we didn't pay attention to it because, oh, it only happened 3 times before. Well, next cycle we'll probably say it 4 times, and, you know, so on and so forth. But usually, when was halving 2012? August, like 5th or something like that. We went for about, let's say 3, 6, 9, 10, 15, like 5 months in 2012 before we started breaking out. And then in 2016, we went about the same amount of time, about 5 months. And then it was only about 2 months in 2020, and then we had DeFi summer going on at the same time, so it wasn't even that like much of a wait really. 2 months till we got a big move up, and then we had a kind of nasty pullback. It doesn't look that bad from this point of view, but really, once again, about the same amount of time, 150 to 160 days, 5 months, and we pushed to new highs. So, to me, that basically says, if we're going to follow the same path as before, then maybe we get some DeFi summer stuff into June of next year, but more than likely, the big push will start happening Q3 of 2024. So, my big goal this year is to just accumulate stuff that I like for the long term, right? Stuff that people aren't going to be asking me 2 weeks from now, yo, do you still like blank? Like, yeah, bro, I still like blank. I'm trying to hold this bad boy into next year. So the goal is to really sell that stuff after the big push post-halving, which I believe will lead into 2025. Now, that doesn't mean everything I hold now I'm going to still be holding then. It doesn't mean the size I have now on this stuff will be the same then. But, yeah, bro, do you still like Woo? Like, yeah, bro, I still like Woo, But I also sold Woo above $1 after buying it 3 cents because that's how it goes. And the same thing now, if I get stuff that goes 10, 20, 30x this year, I'm probably going to take a lot off. Like OXO, still get the OXO moon bag, but 200, 300x, that's enough for me. I don't need, and then flip that into a 10x on Unibot. All of a sudden the 200x is a 2000x. Like, why wait if there's more opportunity now? But, maybe come back next year and OXO's up another 1000%. I don't know. But doesn't really matter, right? But the point is, I think it's really good to keep a small bag, even if it's really like not that meaningful, $100, $500, whatever, in every bag that you close out. You buy $1,000 or something, it 10x's, you make 10 grand, you take 9 grand out, you leave the other 1,000, you come back the start of 2025, that $1,000 you left is 50,000, boom, Or that $1,000 you left is 0, and that's how the cookie crumbles. Like, that's gonna happen probably to 30, maybe even 50% of the stuff you leave. But you just don't want to have taken a 5x or something on something this year, and then come back in 2025 and you realize, damn, I could have just held that, done absolutely nothing for a whole year, and made like a 200x. I mean, it's gonna happen. I mean, it's not like, cry yourself to sleep or anything, but you definitely don't want to be in that position if you can help it. And it's okay. It's not as big a deal if you see something like, dang, that was so much cheaper in 2023. Like, wish I'd bought that. That's one thing. But when you did buy it and you had a big bag and then you whiffed it, that feels a lot worse. Because not only could you have bought it, but you did. And you had it and you whiffed it. And we're not shaming that. If it happens, it happens. There's stuff I've sold this year that is probably going to go up crazy in the next couple years that I don't have anymore. It is what it is. But ideally, if there's half decent quality in the stuff you have, and it starts to go up really nicely this year, keep some of it. Like today, Gym's going up really nicely, right? We're up from our entry back here, 400, 500%. And so I've TP'd, I TP'd half of my size today. I sold some the other day on the run up, and so I probably got maybe 30% of my size left or something like that. Nothing crazy, but if we keep pushing to like 10,000, I'll take another half off, leaving about 15% of my size. And then if we push again to like 20, I'll take another half off, leaving 7%, and then so on and so forth. And yeah, and then maybe I'll still have some left if it's pumping in 2024, 2025. But yeah, so yeah, that's typically what happens, Plaza. I mean, we don't know, is it gonna happen a fourth time? I don't know, but We're just going off of what we have in front of us. Yeah, that's the game plan. Why was Jim pumping? I don't know. I didn't even look at like news or fundamentals or anything, but $1.3 million volume in the last 8 hours. Either something's happening or people just like the coin. It could just be people like the coin. It's a cool project. It's got a really good lick ratio to market cap. The devs kind of gigabrained. I don't know. I don't know if there's any big reason, but we profited. I will say that much. We are profiting handsomely. But I digress. Going back into Bitcoin on the weekly, things look a little bit better. We do have a rising cycle and rising momentum. And a little bit contrary to our monthly, where on the monthly, the cycle's already kind of looking like this. And momentum looks kind of like this, which is rising, still bullish, but we're in the negative. Kind of like we were back here, rising in the negative, and yet we still kept going down. So, not the end all be all, but in general, this is kind of the range, right, that we're sitting in. Basically back to this whole level here. Right? And then, depends how big you want to draw it. I'm going to use the lowest close as kind of the high end of my range, outlining this on the weekly. There is the range that is capping us. So we're just fluctuating between this. I'm wagering that we retest this at least once more before breaking out. I bet a lot of people bought this weekly candle, especially into the new highs, and we'll cut those longs if we retest lower. Even if we stay range bound, even if we don't make new lows, there's probably people that will cut their position or get liquidated because, we're breaking out. Screw it, I'll bump from 5x to 10x leverage. Let's do it. And then it dumps 8% and they get licked. So I think this is a pretty likely scenario. If not, the short position, I'm only risking like 3%. So I think we just booked, let's see, just booked 3% today on Gem. So if it just cancels out 1 TP on Gem to hedge a pretty massive part of my portfolio, I think it's worthwhile. Now, the general risk reward on the short is nothing crazy. Like, you're never going to get super crazy risk rewards on short unless you get super tight stops. And I personally did not get a super tight stop on this. I think this is how I'm working this. Something like this. And I'm targeting like 27, maybe upper 26s. I think, because that's pretty much our range low. You could argue range low, of course, is 24.7, but I think this whole general area is kind of the range low. And I'm not going to be waiting for 25K exactly to TP. I'll probably cut majority of the short in here if we get under 27 or even low 27s. And then we'll just trail it out with lower highs if we make lower highs. So that's the game plan. I feel like it's worthwhile. I can make 6% on the account if we get to like 27. And then that'll hedge any kind of losses I have to take on the way down. And I don't imagine I will. That's the nice thing about being completely spot is that, losses are just losses until they're not anymore. And that's kind of a meme. Like, it's not a loss until you sell. Well, it's really not a loss until you sell. And sometimes that's going to mean you hold it to 0, right? I've been there. And that's why I only risk single-digit % on majority of my low caps. But, like, a perfect example is Tigris, right? Bought in at $1.50 to $2, bought some more at $3.50 to $4, bought some more in the 6s, right? And technically this is at a loss, the 6 entries and even a couple of the entries in the 4s. Technically a loss right now, but not planning on closing it out. So it's really only a loss if, this happens and it just is done. But if it does that, does this, go down to $1, whatever, and then ends up in this, it's not really a loss. It can make 6% on a short and then not even end up having any losses in the intermediate term. and, you know, make a killing. So that's kind of the game plan here. Compound the shorts into more low caps and see what we get in August. Is there a reason BTC is struggling to break 22K? Absolutely, dude. I mean, the simplest thing is we pushed straight from 16K into 32K, right? And 32K was a massive level of support that held us up for like, I don't know, we first tested it as support January 2021, and we didn't break it until May 2022. So really that 30K all the way up to 33K is kind of just a big wall of resistance. We've also got a little lower high pivot in here, right? So it's only natural that that would cap us to the upside, at least for a little bit, right? I did not expect us to make it through this level in the first go. I wouldn't be that surprised if we did in the second go, but I think what makes more sense is that on the third go that we get through it. So, you know, we'll see. But it's just, you know, a big level of support back here, big potential resistance in here. Take a buy now, in your opinion. 6 to 12 month outlook, Tigris is a buy right now, yeah. Monthly outlook, you could probably get cheaper. So the way it works for Tigris is they sold a bunch of NFTs in like a pre-sale of sorts, and I think only 14 addresses even bought them. But a lot of them bought a few of them bought a lot of the NFTs, and each NFT entitles you to 1,300 TIG over the course of 30 days from when you start the vesting. So vesting began on July 1st, but you have to start it. Like, it doesn't just automatically start giving you TIG, you have to start it. So a lot of people forgot that probably they had Tigris NFTs, and they're probably slowly starting to hear about it. So I'd wager by like middle of July, most people who had the NFTs that want to sell have probably started vesting, which would mean by 30 days from the middle of July, most people who vested their NFTs and want to sell have probably sold. So still a ways to go there. I think there's a decent chance, you know, we're seeing the lows here in the 2s, but we could see as low as, you know, $1. If people really start hitting the sales, I mean, I don't think it's that out there. So, you know, if we're $100, 8 to 12 months from now, this is a great buy. The only way this is not a great buy, in my opinion, is if you're trying to get in and out in the next few weeks, or if the project completely fails, which I see no reason to believe this project will fail in the long term. It looks very, very high quality. Any thoughts on macro this week? I'm being real. I'm not really a big expert on traditional finance and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not really the best person to ask about that. I think if you want to have thoughts on macro, probably hit up Basil in the chat. He's usually got some really concise thoughts on it. Overall, though, big thing we want to see is dollar continues dumping, right? Dollar dumping historically has been very good for crypto, right? The last major bull runs were during big dollar dumps, right? And the only time we really didn't was we had pretty good runs in 2016 and the dollar was kind of just ranging. But the majority of this bull run was 2017, and that was dollar dumping 2020, 2021. Bitcoin tops right here. Bitcoin tops right here. And likely, again, pretty good trend of this, Bitcoin will likely top sometime 2025 in this general range for the dollar. That's my prediction, at least. Something else to take into account is, right, U.S. equities. I kind of had this outlined for a few months now, and this would definitely line up with a lot of people had this idea of like a recession coming, or if not a recession, at least we get hammered maybe once or twice more, right? And I think that is definitely a likely outcome. I definitely think that stocks can get hammered again after such a crazy move off the lows from the end of last year, especially for tech. I mean, tech is basically at the highs, right? It's at kind of like the final resistance here, which reminds me quite a bit of Which one? Like 2020. Right, 2020 had this big level too. Or is it 2019? 2019, I guess. Right? And we pushed it into new highs, and then we got a big sell-off. Pushed it again, big sell-off. Pushed it, big sell-off. And that's kind of what I think is going to happen here. Maybe on a less dramatic scale than I've drawn. You know, maybe more like this. But that's kind of the idea I've been having with stocks. And if we get these big pushes down for stocks, there's like a, I don't know, an 80% chance crypto's going to follow it, right? Because crypto doesn't always follow stocks to a T, but when stocks get hammered the last few years, crypto tends to follow that. So I would definitely keep your eyes on it. If we start to lose the intermediate term uptrend, which is going to be our daily 8 EMA for stocks, if we start to really crash below this and lose this uptrend here, I would expect some pain for the entire crypto market. Okay, so that's the biggest trouble, I'd say, for crypto right now. If equities start to reverse, BTC short will be nice. Exactly, yep. And so I'm thinking, at the least, you know, if stonks start to dump down to the daily range low, we probably get that 28, 29K BTC. And if we get a better nuke into like 13s on tech, you know, these longer term moving averages start to rise up. If we meet somewhere in there early August, probably get like 26, maybe 25K on BTC. And that'll likely be a good average down for the long term. Okay. So again, I'm not a TradFi expert, right? These are just my thoughts based off, you know, being analyst, but that makes the most sense to me. Okay. And then also, I mean, looking at gold is setting up for a really nice move. And the, oh my goodness, scared the shit out of me. My cat made a very disturbing meow. Anyways, gold looking very nice into the coming years, right? Had a really nice long off the lows. Unfortunately, held that on FTX, so I ended up selling that off before I got off FTX. But pretty much a perfect trade into the highs there. And now it's kind of just doing the same thing BTC is doing, where you're just doing inside bars on the monthly, right? From range low to range high. And eventually, once all the interest rate shit is sorted out, I think we're going to make a really powerful move on gold, probably 3,000 plus in the next couple of years. That's what I would wager at least. So for the boring guys, this is going to be your time to get long on gold. Any dips back to like 1,800, 1,700, probably a good time to buy some gold. And that'll go hand in hand with BTC. Right, and then as far as the daily goes, that was kind of the main trigger for the BTC short, right? We rode the daily all the way up, and then we closed below it. We had a nasty fake out, ran the highs, stopped out a bunch of shorts, got rejected, retested the 8 EMA right here, and failed. So this is kind of my trigger for the short around 30, 250-ish. If we close back above the 8, I might cut the short. I'm not really sure. It's low risk. So I'm kind of willing to give it a little bit of wiggle room, because we could definitely, you know, this is our bearish wall, right? We could definitely retrace up to like halfway and then still continue dumping. But I'm not sure yet. We might cut it for a small, you know, 1% if we start to push hard. But, you know, we'll see where it goes. Set up nice for Q4, big buying. Yep. Absolutely. That's been basically my outlook the past couple of months, is that Q4 is going to be the time to be a buyer, and that if you got the patience, it's probably good to just average into the positions you like very slowly over the next 4 to 5 months. Okay, and then look to sell them second half of 2024, first half of 2025, and piss off. Right? That's basically my game plan going into this. You think if BTC dumps to retest weekly support, gem dumps? Oh, there's not a doubt in my mind. If BTC comes down, like, there's very few scenarios where this happens and your altcoin just keeps going, right? More than likely, if BTC dumps, gem dumps. And why is that? I've talked about this many times on stream, and we went kind of in depth into it last time, but essentially, you know, if you're in a BTC long, and then you're in an Ethereum long, and a gem long, right? What's going to happen, right? BTC dumps, you're losing money on that, shoot. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. Well, BTC dumped, so Ethereum's dumping too. Shoot. I'm losing money on both of those. Where am I making money? Oh, gem is still up. Well, I'm going to TP some gem then, because I'm losing money on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm going to TP some gem. And then everyone's going to say the same thing, and then gem's going to dump too. And that's how it, you know, that's how everything ends up dumping. You know, for a lot of the high caps, it's an algorithmic thing. Like, if BTC is getting hit, the algos are going to be pushing down Ethereum and Aave and BNB and Curve, and every single coin on this list is going to get pushed down when BTC is pushed down. But with low caps, it's less algos doing it and just, you know, people doing it on their own, right? Because if they're down on their high caps and the only thing they're up on is gem, they're going to be like, dang, well, you know, right now they might be thinking, okay, if gem goes to 10,000, I'll take some profits. And then Bitcoin starts getting nuked out and they go, ooh, actually, I kind of like the profits I already have. And then they sell that, and then everyone does the same thing, and then gem all of a sudden dips with Bitcoin. You know, that's kind of how it goes. So gem paired with ETH. Also a good point, yeah, gem is paired with ETH. And if BTC goes down, ETH is going to go down. And with the state of ETH BTC, if BTC goes down, ETH is probably going to go down even harder. So, yeah. Do I think TIG will migrate to ETH? I don't know. I mean, I don't think they need to. I think when it comes to perpetual swaps, I think it makes way more sense to be on an L2 because you want it to be fast. That's the big thing. You're trading perps on leverage. You want that shit to be fast. And you want it to be cheap. Right? And that's not going to happen on Ethereum. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I hear my cat getting into a cabinet. Let me go rally him in. Alright, we're good. Whenever ARB picks up, Tigris will move with it. Absolutely. And the harder BTC and Ethereum go this cycle, I mean, who knows where the tech will end up, but I'm pretty sure the harder this stuff goes, the more expensive it'll get on ETH, the slower the transactions are going to get if you're not using crazy gas. So L2s are just naturally going to increase in value as far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't think they're going to go on a 200, 300x run like Solana did the last cycle, but I do think, you know, something like Arbitrum could go up 1,000% in the next year or two. And if that happens, it's the same thing every time, right? People are going to look for what is good on Ethereum and how that translates to L2s. Oh, we really like decentralized exchanges on Ethereum. What's the best DEX on Arbitrum? And maybe they'll be, oh, it's Grail. Let's buy Grail. Okay, well, what's the best perp DEX? It's GMX. Let's buy GMX. Okay, well, what other opportunities are there for perp DEXs? There's Tigris. There's Lexer. There's, I don't know, probably another one, but that's how it always goes, right? They want to find what's good on Ethereum and how is that going to translate to the other layers, right? Unibot 17% APY, pretty juicy. Pretty juicy. I would say Unibot's probably my favorite bag right now. And definitely my biggest bag by a pretty good margin. I got like 18% of my account in Unibot. I think it looks really good. And people are still sleeping on it. Honestly, like, hey, what's good, Hooch? Thanks for tuning in, homie. Excuse me. Chart looks good, yeah. I mean, Unibot looks great. Right, we're kind of just ranging right now, which is pretty expected. You know, I think this will continue in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then we probably get a breakout sometime into August, moving towards 50. And I'm going to be real, I mean, my price target on Unibot is really high. Like, I think in 2024, we could hit like $500 or something crazy. Because this, first of all, a lot of people are limiting Unibot to like what they see now. Like, oh, it's a Telegram trading bot. What's the limit? What's the max that could go to? Well, that's assuming Unibot does not change or upgrade at any point in the next year. And I think that they're going to change what they're doing by a... Oh, hold on. Big knot in my hair. Like, originally, Unibot was developed as a web app, and only after that did they port it to Telegram. So eventually it's going to be a full web app. And I think a lot of people are going to prefer to trade it that way. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's coming in the next month or two or something like that. But I genuinely think we're looking at one of the future blue chips in the making here. I mean, it's already fully diluted. 37 mil market cap is peanuts, guys. Peanuts. In a full bull market, the top 100 will probably all be above $1 billion again. So if you think that Unibot is a top 100 coin, $1 billion is the goal. And that's $1,000 Unibot. Okay, so, you know, where to load up big? I mean, it depends on how you're playing it, right? If you're playing it like me for the long term, this is the time to load up bid, mid-30s. If you want to maybe wait out a Bitcoin nuke, okay. But your best bet, if you're not involved at all, is just to buy some here. And then if we get a better dip, right, you can build your average down. Hopefully, I think any average cost under 30 is going to be pretty good for Unibot. Just keep in mind, guys, I'm in from like the $3 to $4 range. So, you know, I'm saying that with a comfy profit cushion, but I'm also still holding 60% of my size. So, you know, do with that what you will. But OTC deals for 50, you're out of your mind. Out of your mind. I'm 60% right now. I'll probably move to 50% if we push into the 50s. And then towards 100, I'll probably move to like 35%. And then pushing into 200, I'll probably move to like 20%, so on and so forth. I'm not going to hold my current size for $500 to $1,000, but I mean, I'm going to hold as much as I can as long as I can, that's for sure. Because I think this is genuinely one of the best projects out there right now. Yeah, and a lot of people use it. It's not just people buying Unibot to own Unibot. A ton of people use the product. And the more they use it, the higher the APY. The APY is all in Ethereum. So there's no risk of some random guy getting a ton of Unibot from rewards. Like, it's all diluted. Only way to get it is to buy and sell it. All right, so I really like that. But if you're not in, I mean, I genuinely think mid-30s is going to be a good buy going into next year. You know, maybe you buy here and it goes back under 30. Like, okay, well, if you're managing your size properly, then you should have money to buy that dip too. What do you think on Credo? I'll be real, I haven't paid attention to Credo in a while. I think the tech is very good. I just don't know. I haven't looked at the emission schedule in a while. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow. We were trading this in the single dollar ranges up here at 5 to 6. This got really hammered last year. Holy crap. But even then, it's still probably like $50 million or something. Oh, I'm sorry. It's $170 million fully diluted, which is just mind-blowing, honestly. Like, it's a great project, but this is mind-blowing. I don't think it's time for this yet. I don't really generally like bags where the fully diluted is so much higher than the circulating. Like, this is only less than 20% are circulating right now. And, you know, that's not the end-all be-all, right? You can still get a sick pump if it's not all fully diluted, but, like, where is this all going? Okay, that's great. Let's see if we can find... Let's see if we can find the tokenomics for this. Come on. Well, even more concerning, they're not making it super obvious, their tokenomics. Where are they? Network, maybe? I don't know. The tech is very good and very cool. I think the tech is something that that projects will definitely like to integrate to boost their liquidity across different chains and whatnot. But, I mean, the price action tells you everything. Someone out there is vested. If it's the team, the advisors, the strategic partners, whatever, those guys are getting free Credo that they probably bought at a penny, you know, in a seed sale or something. So, second link. Which one? Maybe the FAQ. Oh, second link you sent. Did you send it on Discord? Or did you send it in the chat? I didn't see it. I don't see any links on YouTube. No, I don't see it. But, okay, nice. Here we go. Good deal. Let's see what the tokenomics look like for Credo. Because most likely, someone out there is getting free Credo every month that they bought dirt cheap. Here we are. Whoa. Okay. Can I zoom out? Oh my gosh, why is it lagging so much? There we go. Okay, is this my computer? It's not my computer, it's just the page is lagging massively. Good lord. So, how many are there? There's 2 billion tokens. The first billion are vested on varying timelines. Yep. We got the Treasury Reserve, private sale, 2 public sales, validators, distribution, investors, team. There's so much. And some of these are vested over, like the ecosystem is not as big a concern. Like, that's at least expected, but the investors and the team, that's for 2 years. And with a 12-month cliff, right? So, I don't know when TGE was. I guess it was 2021 here. So, that cliff for all of these was 2022. So, starting in here, most of these are vested 24 months, right? That goes out into the end of 2024. So maybe we base down here until then. And then finally, once most of these are done, then it can start moving up. But you see all this, I mean, the majority of the pain kind of ends right in here, right? So I can't really see 21, 2, 3, 4. I get that 30 months. Are these going up by 2s? I can't tell. 5, 7, 9, 11. Yeah. So it looks like about 30 months after TGE is when things start to chill out for Credo. I just don't think that's there yet. It's not the kind of play I want to take. You know, as much as I like the project, it's just kind of a mess, right? Like, someone's gonna be happy. Someone that bought this. Do they have details of... They're probably not going to have the actual price these guys bought in at. You have to do some digging to find that. But, you know, let's say these guys bought in at $5 million and it's still 30. I mean, they're going to be happy to take the free 6 or 7x. Like, They're not going to care that it's down from $5 to 8 cents. Well, it's free money for me. So, yeah, I love the tech, but I'm not interested in it at this price. A cliff means that the vesting does not start until the cliff ends. So if there's a 12-month cliff from the token generation event and the token is generated on September 2021, it means your vesting starts September 2022. And then if it's vested for 24 months, let's say you have 1,000 Credo, you'll get 1,000 Credo divided by 24, and you'll get a piece of that every month for 24 months. We're only 12 months in, right? So, you know, the public sale guys are going to be pretty much done soon. The private sale guys will be done about 6 months. And then all that's going to be left mainly is the team and the investors, which you'd think these guys wouldn't nuke the price out, but it's free money for them. You know, if a fund, a hedge fund owns this, they don't care about selling at 8 cents. They get to say, hey, we made 700% on this investment we made 1 year ago, whatever. Like, it looks good for the numbers and it looks good for their holders and all that good stuff. So, I like the tech, but it's just, it's not for me, right? What are your thoughts on call liquidity? I mean, it's tricky because it says 2 million liquidity, but like in here, you know, we had, I mean, look at the daily volume, 60K, and with 60K, we went, no, it's even worse than that. Look, on this one candle, 17K volume, we went from 150 to 115, and we went all the way back with half of that, with $9,000 from $1.15 to $1.60. And on this breakout, look at this, 150 to 165 with $2,000. But I know when I was buying in, like, it doesn't even show it properly, but you know, like here's a great example. Yeah, right here. I don't think this is one of my buys. One of my buys was over here. Look how much one of these buys moved, 13K from 30 cents to 45 cents. But then here, a 50K buy only pushed it from 65 to 70 cents. And then right here, 60K in volume, and it didn't even really move. So there's definitely some liquidity games going on with this one. I don't know exactly how it works, but it is thick liquidity. It's not always thick liquidity. I don't know how it works exactly, but there is a lot of liquidity to buy and sell at certain times. The thing is, though, it's $2 million in call liquidity and 250K in USDT, which exactly, yeah, their tokens are way over the ETH, which is weird because usually these are going to be 50-50, and when they're not, the pools will rebalance. I don't know why it's not rebalancing it, but yeah, there is very good liquidity, and at times you could ape in like 50K and it's barely going to move price, but sometimes someone's going to ape 5K and it's going to push it like 20%. I don't know. I guess sell when there's good liquidity. Don't sell when it's bad, right? You're going to get really bad slippage. So my targets for this one are absurdly high, right? Like I really don't want to start TPing any of this until like at least $10. So yeah, I mean, I think this play is going to be absolutely insane. Their game looks really solid, and they got a lot of plans for their token. So I'm feeling really good about this one. Doesn't concern me. Not really. I think they're just playing games with liquidity to paint a really good chart. Because here's the thing, they're clearly working very hard on their game, and they've clearly put a ton of thought into their tokenomics and the GameFi economics and all that stuff. Like, these guys are not messing around. I don't think they're trying to just get a quick buck. You know, they've got some previous devs that worked with Axie Infinity, which we all know hit like $10 billion. All right, let's see where that's at. It's still at 1.5. And I think the peak was like Yeah, $10 billion. You know, they got guys there that ran that up from 30 mil to 10 billion. I don't think they did that just to come to Ka and nuke it out at $3 million, right? Like, I think they've got some big plans for this. So, no, I'm not really worried about it, to be honest. Mentioned in Blockcircle chat, you're swapping. How come I missed Axie? Dude, me too. I didn't own a single Axie on the way up. Not even a little bit. You know, it is what it is, right? Never look back. Mentioned in Blockcircle chat, you swapped something for GHA. Oh, that was a while ago. I don't even think I have that. I have like a little moon bag of GHA, but it got hammered. I sold that out mostly before that happened. It was It wasn't GNS. What was it? It was GND. And this actually looks a lot better than GHA. I sold out in like here at like 500 something and bought GHA up here. And then pretty much fully cut that. I can go find what price. Because I don't actually remember. Where are my threads? I have so many threads now. Here we go. Oh my gosh, it's so long ago. It's like archived, so Discord's taking a minute to pull it up. But this one looks pretty toast. I'm not adding to this. I've got a small little moon bag. It's like, I don't even know. It's really small. I got like 0.5% of the account in it. No, it's less than that. It's like 0.2% of the account. But I can't remember. I can't remember where I cut it. Here we go. G&D. Where's GHA? Here it was. It was June 6th. So, in here. So, I don't even think I took an L. I think I bought it in here and sold most of it in here. It was June 6th. It was when I cut a lot of stuff on this date. I'm sure some of you guys remember that, but here's the post, if you guys remember that. COVID helped Axie a lot, developing markets. Oh, absolutely. And the whole idea of play to earn was extremely popular. And I think still is extremely popular. I just think people are realizing that they actually want good games that are fun. And I think Tropica is doing a good job of making their game fun and entertaining, where you're not just playing to earn. Because the best play-to-earn games are going to be games that are not just like a grind to get a couple bucks. You know, they got to be actually fun, and it has to be a good game before it's a good crypto project. So you know, last cycle we had crypto guys making GameFi projects, and this time we're going to have crypto guys in combination with actual game developers that are making stuff. Like, I've gotten some investments into like AAA game companies that are starting to work in crypto. And I think those are going to be some of the best plays going into this cycle. GameFi is up there as one of my favorite investments this cycle. Do I think it's done? GHA, I think this is done, dude. Yeah. I don't think this is coming back. But I haven't paid attention to it. I don't know the fundamentals. I don't know what's going on with the project, but I think it looks pretty toast, right? Right? So I don't think I'm going to be adding anything back to this. I think the moon bag I left was like 0.75% risk to 0 or something, and now it's like 0.2. I don't know. I'm not interested at all. Thoughts on Link? I mean, it'll have its time. It'll have its time. I have no doubt. You know, this will go on a killer run. I mean, the monthly looks very nice. But until we're trading on the top side of this monthly 8 EMA, I see no reason to be involved. Like, if you really like the project, okay, you know, it's in a long-term range here. You're at the low end of the range. You want to scoop some up for the long term. I get that. And the project definitely has a lot of use cases. You know, the oracles are massively used. I just don't know if that ends up in a high token valuation. But if we go in a mega bull run, I mean, there's a pretty good chance this is going to go up. Yeah, probably 10x. I don't know if it'll make new highs. So maybe 10x is pushing it. But I think it'll have a good run. You know, it'll probably outpace Bitcoin at some point. For now, it's massively underperforming even BTC since 2020. I mean, it was one of the cleanest charts in crypto. And then it got nuked out. And ever since then, it's just been lower highs against BTC. So when you can break out of this kind of like regression channel that you're in, then things will start to look pretty good. But you're going to have to get pretty big. You know, you have to be really above like $10 before this is even in like a long-term uptrend again. You got to break out of this range. You got to clear the 200. You got to clear the old support from back here. It's just not something I really care to be heavily invested in, right? I'd rather be in something fresh than something old. Just my 2 cents on that. I think it's a good quality project fundamentally, but I mean, look at it. It's been ranging since middle of May 2022. If you like it, it's probably a good time to average down, but I don't know. Not the kind of trade I'm interested in. Same with Solana. At least this has like layer 2 going for it, but I don't know. I would just rather be involved in this stuff. I'm not that worried about being in at the bottom, right? This is the overarching trend for something like Solana right now. I would rather be involved when the overarching trend is this. You know, even if I got to buy higher, that's when I'd rather be involved. And if that means I miss out on a big 2x, whoa, not a 2x, like, you know, we had that on Unibot in like a week. So, I don't know. I'm not really that concerned about it. It's got a lot of work to do, right? You got to clear like $50 to be in a long-term uptrend. And you'll at least be in an intermediate-term uptrend if we can clear like 30s, you know? So if you want to if you get a pop-up 30s, and maybe you want to bid the retrace of that dip, mid-20s, mid-low 20s or something. I like that trade a lot. Here, you're just, you know, you're kind of gambling that it's not going to form another lower high and continue this downtrend, and I don't know. Like, if you're, it's basically a Chainlink play, right? If you're looking for a good 10x in the next year or two, I think you got it. I think it's worth the bid. If you're looking for 100 or 200x like it did before, I think you're going to be severely disappointed. Okay. I mean, yeah, it can get back to where it was before FTX, but FTX was what, November? I mean, you're talking barely a 2x from here. Like, I think it can get there too. Yeah, no problem. But, it's barely even outperforming BTC. The BTC chart looks horrendous. Like, you haven't outperformed BTC since 2021. So I would at least want to be outperforming BTC for Solana in the long term before you start getting big positions going. Else, you're kind of just better off being in BTC, you know? So, oops. Not something I'm very much interested in, I'll be honest. Okay. See that missy thing? Oh yeah, Fresh. I don't know if you're still in here, Fresh Couple, but you asked about Libera as an LSD play. I do still like LSD plays, but it's not my favorite narrative right now. Is that spelled right? Is it Libra? No, it's... Where is it? You have to give me the ticker for this if you're still here. I'm not sure what it is. Do you like Pepe as one of the better meme exposures? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if Pepe is going to go on another Pepe run. You know, it did, what, 10,000x or something from the lows. I mean, it started at literally like single digits and went up 50,000%. I don't think you're going to do that again, but I think you can definitely get from the lows probably another 10x on it. You know, maybe up to like 10,000, something like that. I think this is the best meme play of the cycle. I don't know if it's going to be the highest ROI, but it's the meme coin. You know, last cycle was Dogecoin and then Shiba Inu. And this time I think it'll be Pepe and, you know, one other coin. I'm not sure what it'll be. Maybe Gem or maybe Snail. But definitely don't go into it expecting these kind of returns again. You might get it. Like I think it'll outperform BTC for sure. LBR is the ticker. Okay, good looks. Age 2 months. That should be the right one. Yeah. Ooh, that's a nice chart. You can see we outlined when to cut it back here. But this is nice. I like this quite a bit. You had a really clear downtrend, which you broke out of, and now you're in a clear uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. This is a really nice set of candles right here. Liquidity is really good. And it's pretty low market cap too. I mean, I think this is a good play. I think this is a really nice play. And it's fully diluted too. So yeah, I think this is nice. You know, you could do a short-term long. Something like this. I'm not letting you out, buddy. You'd be getting in cabinets and shit. Or you could do a kind of a wider stop play. Like this. And then just keep building size on any higher lows. You know? Right? You get another dip, another bid, stop below the previous low. Compound it. Another dip, another bid, stop below the previous low, compound it. I think it looks really nice. I don't know the tokenomics on it or anything like that, but it looks good. What do I think of the 2.0 of meme coins? I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I think it's great if you can catch those on launch. The initial hype wave is obviously very strong, but I don't know. I would equate it to like YFI, right? Where YFI had a killer run, and then in addition to that, YFII also had a good run, but not as good, and the interest definitely faded very quickly. So I think it's fine, but not something I'm interested in by any means. That's a good point. Memes are really good for getting noobs into crypto because people want to buy something where they can get a lot of tokens for cheap. They can put in a couple $100, and look, bro, I got a million Pepe coins for just $100. Isn't that crazy? If that goes to $1, I'll make $1 million off $100. Because these guys are not looking at the tokenomics. They're not looking at, oh, if you make $1 million on this, bro, it's going to be a $5 trillion market cap. You think that's going to happen? No. They're not looking at that. They're just seeing, oh, I can get 1 million coins for $100, and if it goes to $1, I'll make $100 million. Whoa! Like, that pulls in people like nothing else. And so Project X is basically the inverse of that. You know, it's getting your piece of the pot, right? There's one coin. That's it, right? No one will ever have more than one coin. No one will probably ever have more than half a coin or 0.2, right? And they're playing some serious liquidity games, right? Like, you'll get a little 2K sell-off and it'll nuke price 75%. And then you'll get like a 1K buy and it'll rip it 100%. It's crazy. I would not, and someone was talking about, did we get rugged on liquidity? No, bro, if you're trying to sell already, you got rugged on the idea of this trade. All right, I'm not trying to sell this until this is like at least 500K liquidity. Right? I would like this to be a $10 million market cap before I'm even thinking about touching it. Because this is the kind of trade that could go from 0 to hero extremely quickly. And it's basically at 0. And it's the only coin out there that has a 1 coin supply, and the guys that are deving it are on the Ka venture capitalist team. So I think they know what they're doing. So I personally have an obnoxious amount of the supply of this project, right? Like twice as much as I had of OXO. And the risk was, I mean, Ryan told me about this when it was $40,000. You know, he hit me up in here and he was like, bro, you seen this? The COD devs are involved. And I was like, all right, screw it. And I bought it up to like 60K or something. And then Blockcircle guys got in and all that. And then someone could have bought in the exact same price as me at 40K on 3 separate occasions here. And now we're sitting at a comfy 10x for my first buy and, you know, a 3 or 4x from my average buys. I'm not looking to touch this until the chart looks like this, you know, until this looks flatlined. But I think it's extremely interesting. I think a lot of the noobs and a lot of the smaller guys, they like to get stuff that's like Pepe, super cheap. You can get a bajillion coins for nothing. But I think the big boys will be interested in getting a little piece of the pot for something with extremely low supply too. That was me when I entered crypto. That's everyone when they enter crypto. I mean, I bought dYdX and Siacoin because it felt cool to have like hundreds of thousands of tokens, even if the chart already looked like this. I'll buy in here thinking, well, look how many tokens I can get for nothing. And then you don't realize you're buying in here. ASAP and Remit, any hope? Let's check them out. I still hold both of them. ASAP, I don't know. It looks kind of toast, to be honest. I haven't checked on them to see if they're like deving or anything. It's a pretty small bag. What did I put in? Like, I think I have like a 0.5% in it or something like that. Maybe a little more. So for me, it's just kind of something I'm not really paying attention to, right? Like I like the concept and the risk is low enough that I'm not really trying to touch it unless I can get like a 10x out of it, right? And so basically it either goes to 0 and stays there forever or it's going to make money. That's kind of the way I'm playing it. So I don't know if I would buy into it now if I didn't have it, but it's very small size and I'm not going to puke it at what could be the lows for just a 0.5%. You know, I'd rather lose the 0.5% with the potential of making 5 to 10% on the account than just to puke it for pennies on the dollar. Remit, I don't know. It's kind of the same thing, right? Like, you know, I loaded up in here. Do I really want to puke it for minus 75% at what could be the lows? And the risk is, I don't know, like, I think I have 1% of the account in this, so I'm down like 2%. You know, I lose another 1% if it goes to 0 and stays there forever, or if it comes back, you know, could easily make a 10x from this point, right? Which more than covers the risk for me. So it's another one like ASAP. I'm not adding to it. If I didn't have any, I probably wouldn't buy any, but I don't really have any interest in selling what could be the bottom, even if it goes down 50% first. I don't really care, right? Like this is 0, you know, so either it finds support and it moves away from it someday, or it's dead forever, right? So not something I would touch if I didn't have a position, but, you know, I think it looks okay. DCAing into X, every time someone dumps, I buy a little. I think it's a good strat, dude. You know, like, people dumping here do not get it. They just don't, right? Like, look at this big candle. From 700K to 250K, the volume is $850. Imagine dumping something that could be the first $10 million coin for $800. I mean, like 10% of that is your gas fee. I can't imagine. I think you're definitely better off building a position on any dumps. And then if it becomes something amazing, you know, this could be a 10 or even a $20 million coin. Why sell it when it looks like this? Right? If you're selling it because maybe you're over risking, you have 5%, 10% of your account, and then yeah, I mean, you screwed up. You shouldn't have put so much in. But if you're risking 0.5%, even 1 or 2%, I don't see any reason to touch it on the sell side anytime soon, because it's extremely unique project. I mean, look, there's 0.04 available to buy. There is nothing available to buy. It's extremely hard to get some of this. Yeah, I mean, I think I have more than double of this, right? Like it's extremely hard to accumulate. Even getting 0.01 of this coin, if it goes to $1 million, right, you're looking at 10 grand. If it goes to 10 mil, you're looking at 100 grand, right? Like, I think it makes sense to just buy some and forget about it. That's basically my game plan. But anyways, ooh, did we sell the peak on Jim? Hey, looks like it. I will gladly be the Pico top seller right there, very happily. And maybe we'll get to buy some back in the low 2s. Feels good, man. I think that's the selling point. It's absolutely the selling point. Like, and it's something people can get behind. Like, being in the first coin, like, that was one of the big hypes of YFI, was that, yo, it's a $70,000 coin in crypto. Like, is there any other coin that's worth that much? I mean, Bitcoin, 30K, right? Let's go. Is there any way to see more than one page? Let's go to page 2. 30K, and it's just Bitcoin. All right, well, let's go to page 3. Like, there is no asset that's priced higher than a $450,000 per coin, right? And a lot of people are not going to buy because of that. I don't want to get 0.001 of a coin. I don't care about that. I want to get 10 million safe moons. So if it goes to $1, I make $10 million. Like, it's amateur mindset. And it can work. Obviously, as we've seen in the past, it can work. But we're seeing something new here where we have an extremely highly priced coin that's very hard to own. What if it's, it's already the highest priced crypto ever at 450K? I mean, obviously, there's probably been other coins that launched with one supply, but they got no traction. This has already survived for weeks now, and clearly there's some demand for it. Right? So, and people are going to rally behind the first $1 million coin in crypto, the first $2 million, $10 million coin in crypto, right? Why can't it go to 100 million? I don't know. Why not? Right? Why not? And hopefully, if it starts to push hard, then they do something about the liquidity. I mean, and the liquidity is not that bad on, like, textbook. This is 10% of the market cap. I mean, that's good. I mean, let's go look at OXO, everyone's favorite coin, right? This is 5% of the market cap. So this actually has a better liquidity ratio than OXO. That being said, there are massive games going on with this liquidity, thus that an $800 sell, which is not even 4% of the liquidity pool, pushes it down 75%. So there's something going on here to paint a very nice chart, to basically screw over sellers and to hook up buyers. So, anyways, there's no sense to be selling it anywhere near this range, right? That makes absolutely no sense. It's not the kind of coin you buy at 200K to sell at 400K. It's the kind of coin that if you buy at 200 and sell at 400, you're going to be crying at 5 mil. Or it goes to 0. I mean, if you think it's going to go to 0, I don't even know why you would own it at this price, to be honest, because it's basically at 0. Anyways, really cool project. Probably my second or third favorite meme coin. My favorite meme coin is probably Pepe, naturally. And then probably Snail behind that. Snail's actually looking pretty good lately, too. My size is kind of light. I wish I had actually... I kind of dumped on the dips a little bit back in here. I wish I'd added on the dip, but... anyways, is what it is. BTC, how we looking? Probably something like this on BTC. That's what I would wager. All right, we're probably going to run the stops above all these highs here before we start moving back down, if we move back down. Yeah, thanks to you, homie. God bless. All right, speak soon. Sounds good. All right, we've been going, what, about an hour and a half? Anything else you guys are itching to look at? Encrypt? Nah, I didn't sell. I got rugged, dude. We all got rugged on this one. And you can't even find it anymore. No, it went to 0, dude. The dev is a loser. So I got completely rugged on that one. Probably lost. I don't know. Is it still in my spreadsheet? There's not my spreadsheet anymore. I don't know. It was probably like 2% or something like that. Nothing serious. But the principal was pain. The principal was pain, dude. Caspa. Ooh, chart looks good. Ooh, chart looks really good. This is definitely the kind of chart I like to be in, right? You had a downtrend. Well, first off, it's a new chart. So once you get above these highs, there's no bag holders that are trying to get out that are underwater. Everyone's in profits at that point. I really like that. And then you also had this clear downtrend that you broke out of and now made a higher low with a really clean engulfing candle right into the 60 EMA on the daily, right into pi probably on the 4 hour, or right into the 200. I think this looks really good. I think it looks really good. You're just trying to, you know, maintain this little angular breakout, but no, I think this looks really good. I think this is an easy hold. Unless you start closing below 0.02, I think this is an easy hold. You could probably get a really easy 50%, 100% on this one. And then as far as Kadena, I remember that one. That one was really hype last cycle. Yeah, crazy run. 30 cents, or yeah, 30 cents to $30. Chart looks terrible. I don't know. You're just knife catching. I don't like this kind of play at all, personally. I much prefer, you know, this could be the bottom, and if it's the bottom, it's going to be a huge win, whatever. I much prefer to just trade something like this, where, oh, I didn't get to buy it a penny, but who cares, because it's a good setup. You know? Fire. That's a cool meme coin. I remember that one from launch. A lot of the Unibot guys were in this, and I completely missed. You know, these guys were in this from, like, down here at like 100. I remember the guys talking about it back here, and once this candle happened, I was a missor, and so I deleted it from my mind. Okay, I'll let you out. Relax. There. I don't know. I mean, is it just a meme coin, I think, right? It's got a good ticker, fire. The chart looks good. And there's not really much to go off of here, right? It's essentially a zero or hero, right? I mean, I wouldn't be buying this with a stop loss below here or something like this. If you buy this, you're betting it goes to like $5 million, $10 million market cap, and then it doesn't stay at zero forever. Oh, it's Telegram bot? Okay. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of those right now, right? There's a lot of those. Right? I might just be better off just being in Unibot, to be honest. But you know, chart looks fine here. Pretty good liquidity ratio, 25%. It's a high market cap though, like 400 mil. Yeah, it could be. You know, it could be. It's already 500 mil, 600 mil fully diluted. I don't know. I mean, it seems all right. Like, but look, it's had its run, right? It went from 10 cents to $30. It had its run. You know, maybe it'll go from 60 cents to $6, make a nice 10x. It probably won't make new highs. You know, the amount of coins that are gonna do the full cycle and then do it again even harder is extremely low. Extremely low. Like, it's much more likely that your coin. Let's do the BTC pair, because this is how they usually go. It's much more likely your coin is going to end up like this, right? You might get a sick big pump, but I think there's a very low chance it goes to new highs. At best, if BTC goes really hard, maybe you retest, you know, like maybe something like this, you know, what is that, like a 10x, right? Yeah, 10 or 20x. I think it's extremely unlikely that most projects that look like this go on an equal run again. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt, I suppose. Like, you know, what's the use case? This already exists 10 times over. I mean, there's so many projects doing this. I mean, I don't know. You think it's a dud? Yeah. I don't know. And see, those kind of questions are very limiting. How can a company like Unibot be 100 million just operating out of Telegram? What does that have to do with anything, right? What does operating out of Telegram have to do with anything? It's like, how is Facebook billions of dollars when it's just some website? You know, it's just a little website. It's just like a messaging app. Why is it billions of dollars? Well, who cares? You know, like, it doesn't really matter, right? It's got utility. It's got revenue share. It's clearly got tons of people that want to use it. And, you know, if you're paying attention, it's not just a Telegram bot. That's just the initial iteration of it. Like, it was actually originally a web app that they ported to Telegram for ease of use, because a lot of people use Telegram. It's easy to go in Telegram, you know, paste a contract address, do a couple clicks, and you're all set up. Super easy. You can put 2FA on it. You know, I think people like Telegram, and you know, it just works. It works. It's already fully diluted. There's not a bunch of bag holders waiting to sell every new high because they're underwater. Everyone's in profits that's ever bought it. It just works. And, you know, Unibot today is going to be very different from Unibot in 2 months, 6 months, 12 months. And the use case is phenomenal. So, you know, it's straight fire, honestly. Do I think Solana will make new highs? Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Yeah, I think Solana can make new highs. I think it could. That really depends on if you subscribe to the idea of like a super cycle. You know, if Bitcoin goes to like 70K this cycle, then no, Solana probably doesn't make new highs. If Bitcoin goes to 100, 150K, yeah, it could probably make new highs. You know, I think it'll outperform BTC eventually. So if BTC goes up 300%, I think you can go up 1,000% on Solana, and that should bring you around old highs. But I'm pretty sure it's not going to outperform the majority of coins. Oh, someone said Tenet too. I was watching Tenet for a while. I never got an entry. Please tell me it's below where I looked at it. Ooh, I think it's actually the exact same price. Yeah, I was looking at it back here, thinking if I should buy in, and I couldn't really find a reason to. I couldn't, you know, like what was the shill, right? What's the reason to buy this? I couldn't find any information. So maybe Ramon, maybe you've got some info on this one. You know, what's the shtick? Why would I buy it? How does it make me money? Render. I do like Render. I think that's a very good project. I'm kind of coping because I missed out on the Pico lows, right? Back in 2022. And since I missed 40 cents, I've basically written it off as something I will not make money on. But the chart looks extremely healthy. The only risk here is that, you know, maybe you're starting to make lower highs, but you've also got higher lows going for you. So I think as long as you don't crack $1.50, this uptrend is still intact and it looks really solid. Otherwise, you kind of got this, New high fake out, lower high, head and shoulders kind of crap going on. So above here, good. Below here, not good. I would wait it out. But fundamentally, very good. Market cap is obnoxious. I don't know if this is accurate, but if it is, it's absolutely obnoxious. I mean, I don't know enough about the project to know if it's worth $1 billion right now. And what are the odds this goes, 10 or 20x to $20 billion? I don't know. I don't know enough about it to really say, but I will be missing out. Tenter? You mean tender? Meta guy in very rich community with whom it's all unrendered. Yeah, but is that guy a crypto trader? Is he really in tune with crypto? I don't know. There's definitely way worse things you could be in than render, though. I mean, the chart looks good. The outlook in the long term looks very nice. Maybe you retest back near the lows. Like, I would get some of this. If I could get in the low dollar range, I would get some, but I'm just not... excuse me, I got the hiccups. I'm just not really willing to buy up, from the 40-cent lows here. But I think it looks good. Maybe something like this in the next year. Cool project. Market cap's obnoxious. Oh, it's the GPUs project. Yeah. I gotcha. Figure this guy must know what he's talking about. Maybe. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Time to look at dYdX. Absolutely, bro. Let's do a top down. On the monthly, doesn't look good. Does not look good on the monthly. I will say, though, that this is kind of your main setup. This big bullish engulfing. And typically, the way to play these is you can buy the engulfing, right? And then you bid the range of the candle that got engulfed. Okay, so that's this range. Right? So if this is going to make a higher low, if this was the bottom, then $1.80 down to $1.10 is the range to be accumulating. Right? As far as the intermediate term goes, this is your kind of overarching trend right now, right? You're definitely making lower lows and lower highs. So once you can break out of that, I think you can be more confident in being on the long side. For now, it's basically just a range play, right? You're in this big range. You broke out of it. Now you're back in it. You're in the very middle of the range, so there's not really a lot of edge here. So I'd really only be buying if you think it's a good one for the long term. And I think it's a good project for the long term, especially with this cycle. A lot more people are going to be trading on-chain with all the crap going on with centralized exchanges, with FTX, and now there's all this crap going on with Binance. I think a lot of people are going to be happy to be trading where they own their keys. So dYdX is definitely a good place for that. I'd personally just rather invest on some higher risk investments that have higher reward, like Tigris, where they're a bit new to the perpetual dexes, but the market cap is not billions of dollars. And there's not a bunch of VCs that are going to be nuking on you every step of the way up. But I think it's a good project. I think this one's probably going to outperform like Solana, I think. Rollbit. The old Rollbit. Oh, it's going to be a dex one. Chart age 11 days. It's on ETH. Is this the right one here? What is this chain? Is this Solana, I guess? Oh, wow. I mean, the chart looks really good. What is that? What is this price action? Well, outside of this, whatever this is, the price action looks very stable. I mean, this looks like a really healthy chart. I won't say I really support Rollbit as a platform, but I don't know. A lot of guys want to hate on the people that are taking free money from Rollbit, but I mean, there are so many more scams being endorsed out there. Like, I mean, we're supporting the shittiest of the shitcoins. Do we really care if this platform is a scam? Like, most of crypto is a scam. Like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you don't expect that going into these coins, you know, what are you doing? I've had the best experience on Rollbit. Yeah, see, I've met a lot of people that have had really good experiences on Rollbit. And I'm not talking about token investment. I'm talking about just platform use. Like, it's a solid platform. I'm not going to say they have the best practices by any means, but the platform works well. It's fun to use. I mean, it fulfills that kind of gambling niche that people are looking for, and it allows you to do what they say they allow you to do. Are they funding the influencers with free money so they can take these crazy trades and post them on Twitter? Of course. Right? Are there influencers that are pretending like they're trading their own money with these big trades that they can just lose all that money and get refunded by Rollbit? Of course. So if you don't think that's happening, you're eating a damn shoe. But if you're just in it for a relatively quality platform and maybe a decent long-term investment, then I think it's pretty good. It's not an official Blockcircle endorsed investment or anything, but I think it's good. The chart looks good, that's for sure. He's a Bored Ape and Punk guy. Cringe. A guy like that can go all in if render 2 of 4x is. Oh yeah, absolutely. And another nice thing is I'm pretty sure the liquidity is fat. Oh, well. Isn't there better liquidity? That's not the best liquidity, is it? 2 million. That is the best liquidity. That's kind of odd, having 2 million liquidity for $800 million market cap. You'd think it'd be like 10 million at least. I mean, what is that? That's like 0.3% liquidity to market cap ratio. That's pretty garbage. I mean, if he wanted to sell 2 million right now, he would nuke it to 0. So yeah, he can make millions, but he's gonna have to play it slow for sure. And yeah, if you're just looking for a 2 or 3x, yeah, I mean, this is probably a good project to be in, especially if you're on big size. People say Sui and Aptos the next Solana. I don't know. I think the next Solana as a phrase is extremely detrimental. Like, and I've talked about this on multiple streams. You guys probably heard me talk about this, but the next Solana as a phrase just means what's the next 200, 300x, right? And I think it's silly to limit the idea of 100, 200, 300x gain to it has to be a layer 2 or a layer whatever Aptos is. Like, I don't think there's that many layer 2s that are already $1 billion or something that are going to go up 100x or 200x. Like, and if it does, you best believe we're in the craziest bull market ever and everything's going up 100x. I don't know. And yeah, first off, you have a disgusting downtrend. Like, yeah, oh, if this ends up being the bottom, it's a great time to buy. But, I mean, I would just rather be involved above $10. You know, like you get it, let's say you get it like a Solana. It's literally the same chart as Solana. Look at it. It's the same exact downtrend. And it looks bad. It doesn't look good. I mean, it's just not. I'd rather be in other stuff for sure. And yeah, I think they will be the next exit liquidity for VCs. It doesn't mean it can't pump. I would just rather not have a bajillion VCs in from a penny that are going to be selling up all the way up, you know? Crypto's a PvP environment, greater fool's theory example. Absolutely, at the core, man. At the core. Flood? You're friends with Flood? I used to use his in silico bots for a long time. You're talking about this guy, right? Yeah, I used his in silico. I think I still have them. Let me see if they load up. Yep, here they go. Yeah, like the crayons and stuff. He's got some nice tools. He's kind of an asshole on Twitter sometimes, but I mean, who cares, right? That's pretty dope, dude. Am I cutting in and out? Is the internet bugging out? 3% drop frames. Yeah, connection's not fantastic. Anyone else got... Yeah, we're good? All right. Yeah, I mean, this guy's a Chad. He's definitely made fat stacks. So, you know, big ups to him. I don't know him. We're not, like, friends or anything. I don't think I've ever had more than one conversation with him, but, you know, big ups to him, I suppose. Oh, absolutely. That's the thing. If we get a mega bull cycle, you know, if Bitcoin goes to 150K, and I talk about this on a lot of streams too, that it doesn't even really make sense to think in the realm of what makes sense. You know, like, oh, this shouldn't go to $100 billion because that wouldn't make any sense. Does any of this make any sense? You know, if Bitcoin goes up to 150K, you're talking about what, 5, 10, like $2.5–3 trillion for Bitcoin. Well, let's look at this. Ethereum is about a third of Bitcoin. So if this goes to 3 trillion, this is going to go to 1 trillion. If this goes to 1 trillion, why can't Dogecoin, which right now is 5% of Ethereum, if it's still going to be 5% of Ethereum, what's 5% of $1 trillion? You know, it's $50 billion or whatever. Like, and if Dogecoin goes to 50 trillion and Aave is 20% of Dogecoin's market cap, why wouldn't this go to 10 billion? You know, that's the kind of idea. And as everything rises, there's that catchphrase, right? The rising tide lifts all ships. You're going to have a top 100 that are all billions of dollars. And if your coin happens to be a top 100 project, it's going to be billions of dollars. So yeah, I completely agree. You know, we're going to have coins go to hundreds of billions of dollars that makes no sense. So is there any reason Kadena can't do the same thing? No. But if this is going to hundreds of billions of dollars, what are the good low caps that are right now 2 million going to do? Maybe this can go to 500 million, which is going to see way better returns than $1 billion to 20 billion, you know, stuff like that. Like, if we're in a market where these high caps are going from 1 billion to 50 billion, then we're going to see multiple 100x's across all these low caps. I'm extremely confident in that. That's your boy. Hey, hook me up, dude. Hook me up. Let's get an in silico Blockcircle partnership going here, man. Hook me up. I remember Dip. Rings a bell. Is it? It's this one, right? It's not this one, right? It's definitely this one. The insurance protocol. Hey, man, it looks alive and well. 30 cents down to a penny. I mean, looks alive and well. I'll say the liquidity for market cap ratio is horrible, though. Horrible. From what he's told me, all these people are persona